Good morning, everyone. My name is Colin Meng, and today I'll be presenting my final project for American Indian Studies 102. My topic is the Red Dress Project, a powerful and moving piece of public art by Metis artist Jamie Black. This installation addresses the ongoing crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous women, and I'll be walking you through the meaning, history, and impact of this project. What is the Red Dress Project? Let's begin with a simple question. At first glance, it might seem like just red dresses hanging in public places, but it's much more than that. It's a public art installation created by Jamie Black, which is a Metis artist. She uses these empty red dresses as symbols, representing the thousands of Indigenous women who have gone missing or have been murdered across Canada and the United States. The dresses are intentionally empty. There are no bodies, no people inside them. That emptiness is the point. It represents the absence, the silence, and the grief left behind. By placing these dresses in public spaces, Black forces us to confront this issue. It's not tucked away in a gallery. It's right there, in the streets, in parks, on campuses. You can't ignore it. Who is Jamie Black? Jamie Black is a Canadian artist of Metis heritage. Her background is both Anishinaabe and Finnish. Her work focuses on Indigenous identity, especially the voices and experiences of Indigenous women. She doesn't just create art for art's sake. Her work is socially engaged, meant to educate, provoke thought, and call for change. The Redness Project is her most well-known piece, and has reached audiences all across North America and beyond. Key information and history. The project was first shown in 2010 at the University of Winnipeg. Jamie Black was inspired by the story of a missing Indigenous woman and the activism she saw in her community. The dresses themselves are donated by people from the public. That's important. These aren't costumes. They come from real people and they carry real meaning. Since that first exhibit, the project has spread across Canada and the US. You can now find it in museums, on university campuses, and even on Parliament Hill in Nevada. Over time, it's become a national symbol for the MMIW movement. What are we seeing? When you walk into a red dress installation, what do you actually see? You might see dozens or even hundreds of red dresses hanging from trees, attached to buildings, or floating in the air. There's a haunting quiet to it. There's no music, no explanations written out, just silence and absence. That silence is powerful. It makes you feel the loss. And the color red isn't random either. In many indigenous cultures, red is spiritually significant. It's believed to be the only color spirits can see. That's why it's used here, to call the spirits of those who are missing, to honor them. What is the purpose of this piece? The project serves multiple purposes, all at once. First, it's a memorial. It honors and remembers Indigenous women whose lives were taken or who are still missing. Second, it's a protest. It criticizes colonial systems and the inaction of governments. Third, it's educational. Most people don't know the scale of this crisis. This art forces the issue into public awareness. And finally, it's ceremonial. It creates space for mourning and reflection, for both indigenous and non-indigenous communities. It asks us to care, to mourn, and to act. How does this format affect viewers? Because it's installed in public places, this piece can't be ignored. It's disruptive. It stops you in your tracks. You might be walking through a park and suddenly see a red dress hanging from a tree. You wonder, who was she? Where did she go? Why isn't she here? There's no person in the dress, but you feel her presence in the absence. This emotional effect is intentional. The format makes it accessible and emotionally intense. And because it's outside the walls of a gallery, it reaches people who might not otherwise engage with art or indigenous issues. How the piece reflects core themes. This project also connects deeply with the themes of our American Indian Studies 102 course. For colonialism, the piece explores the legacy of colonial violence and how it still affects indigenous women today. For cultural identity, it gives visibility to indigenous women, letting their presence and their absence being seen and felt. As for resistance, it's an act of resistance against silence, against erasure, against injustice. For stereotypes, it challenges the way indigenous people are portrayed or ignored in mainstream culture. And finally, surveillance, a term we've learned in this course. It means survival and resistance combined. This piece is surveillance in action. It's about memory, survival, and ongoing presence. What I learned through this project. Working on this project changed how I understand indigenous art. Before, I might have seen art as just visual or decorative. Now, I see it as a powerful tool for healing, for truth, and for justice. I learned more about MMIW crisis and the deep pain it causes in indigenous communities. I also saw how expressive culture, like public art, can carry political weight and create real social impact. This project helped me reflect not only on what art is, but what it can do. It reinforced everything we studied this semester about identity, history, resistance, and remembrance. Thank you for listening to my presentation. The Redress Project is a powerful reminder of how art can move people, raise awareness, and make invisible stories visible. I hope this has helped you see the importance of honoring indigenous voices and remembering those who are missing but never forgotten. Thank you.